let's go to my first pick and the second overall pick of the Sunday six pack. Got some ugly ones this week, but I'm going to start with one that is the biggest edge that I have projected in terms of my spread versus the market, as well as the biggest edge that we have in our Action Network Pro models, which are driven by the projections of myself, Stuckey, Sean Corner, the odds maker, Travis Reed, Raheem Palmer. You can check that out at actionnetwork.com with a pro sub, but it's the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals +3 at home against the Los Angeles Rams. And you look at the Cardinals, and they're on a 4-game against the spread losing streak. They won one of those games against the Bills. If you got the number at a good spot, they may have covered that one. But I think it's a little overblown. I do think that perhaps, the shoulder is bothering Murray a little bit. They've only called 3 design runs over the last 2 weeks versus 5.7 per game over the other 9 games. So I think you'll start to see that even out. He's now, 3 weeks removed from that injury. Arizona, what I really like about Arizona in this spot is they've been losing a couple games, a bunch of games where they could have easily won. It could have gone either way, and now you're getting them as a home dog. I have this projected as a pick, and you look at Arizona, number 4 in blitz rate. Well, why is that important? You look at the Rams' 4 losses this year, all to blitz-happy teams. Miami, the 3rd highest blitz rate. Buffalo, 8th. San Francisco twice, 11th. When you blitz Jared Goff, when you pressure Jared Goff, however you come about it, good things happen. He's got a 39 passer rating under pressure, just 4.2 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 6 picks. Remember, he's without Andre Whitworth. And you look at this Cardinal pass defense, and even, again, just because they've been on a losing streak and they haven't been covering doesn't mean everything's been terrible. It's not like, oh, my God, they're just collapsing and playoffs look so promising and now it's over. Over the last 3 weeks, they faced Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. They've held them to a combined 5.94 yards per pass attempt. Bottomed out with Cam Newton last week. I mean, he could do absolutely nothing against them. And this is a 6-5 team, 5 losses. 3 of them have come by 3 points, and only 1 has come by more than 1 score. So this team is in every game. You're getting them as a home dog in a game that I think all of us generally have projected somewhere between a pick'em and maybe you have the Rams favored by a point or so, 1.5, but nowhere close to this number of 3 that the market has out there. I think that's straight up just because the Cardinals haven't been covering in a while. And I went back and looked at some of these teams. I was curious, teams that are on big against the spread losing streaks, and 4 to 6 game against the spread losing streaks, teams with a margin of victory of -4 or better. So the Cardinals have a positive margin of victory. They're a pretty solid team, but teams with a margin of victory, as long as it's -4 or better, and the spread is +3.5 or better, which means they could be favored. They could be a dog up to 3.5. They are 52, 28, and 4, 65% against the spread since 2005. So nearly doubling up in terms of wins versus losses against the spread. This is just a spot where the casual bettor is going to be a little bit hesitant. The book opens the line a little bit inflated. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down as the week progresses, but I love the Cardinals +3. I think they are going to blitz Jared Goff, and good things will happen for him. And the Rams needed some good things to happen just to kind of stay in that game last week against San Francisco, a team that I think is still not quite as good as the Cardinals, given all of the injuries that they're dealing with. So like the Cardinals here, like Kyler to rebound, and like them to create some havoc for Jared Goff.
Oops. Yeah, I make this 1 Arizona +1. I mean, everything I've been reading, I do think that Murray, they were really cautious with him last week. They kind of had treated him with kids' gloves. And they really should have won that game. I mean, the Patriots won that game on special teams. Well, they had 250-plus yard punt returns. They made the game-winning field goal after Arizona missed it. New England had 179 yards and averaged 3.5 yards per play. How the fuck do you win an NFL game with those stats in 2020? I mean, special teams, and then the Cardinals didn't get in at the 1 to end the half, even though I think that they did. So that was kind of a fluky loss. So I do have confidence in Murray's shoulder from everything that I'm reading. It's obviously a question headed into this, and then you're going to have Jalen Ramsey on Hopkins, which will be a great matchup to watch. But, I think the play here, I do agree with you. The play here is Arizona. The only thing that would scare me a bit with Arizona is one of their weaknesses this year has been, McVay's 6-0 against the spread, covering by over 2 touchdowns a game against Arizona. And what is Arizona? Last year we used to joke about it. They can't cover tight ends. Now they're a little better, but they're still like 20th in the NFL. They're like 23rd in the NFL defending the short pass. So, and they don't really let up explosive passes. So that's one of their strengths, but that's not what the Rams do. So is McVay going to exploit that again? Now, this is a new coaching staff within the past year or so, but it is something worth noting. But yeah, Goff is he's going to make a couple mistakes. You know that. But yeah, I make this one from everything I'm reading. It's like if Murray wasn't healthy and I wasn't confident in the shoulder, I would stay away from this. I think that you can have confidence here that Murray will be a full go. And this is probably the most important game of the season for them at 6-5. So yeah, I agree with you. I missed the flat 3. It's +3 -120. I'm either going to join you, or if it goes to 2.5, I'll probably just end up teasing it. But we'll get to teasers later.